You've selected a show from the Podcast Jukebox, a DIY podcast network.
It's Will Sean Podcast. The internet cried out for 2 more blowhards, and they courageously answered that call. Armed with the weapon of wit, each week they're joined by guests to discuss movies, television, pop culture, and anything else that's pissing them off. Take it away, boys.
I'm Will Link.
And I'm Sean David.
And this is Will Sean Podcast?
Just eating chicken and leftover birthday cake. How you doing, Will?
You are just eating chicken and leftover birthday
We were.
cake.
Yeah,
we were
that's why I said it.
Yeah.
I had something else written, and then we started eating chicken and cake, so...
Well, I'm glad you brought up chicken, because this gives me a good transition.
Okay.
So my beloved bar, Sardos.
Yeah.
The place where I hung out for 12 years. I made some of the greatest friendships a man could ever make at this bar.
You lost your virginity in one of the bathroom stalls.
I lost my virginity in the bathroom. Well, they turned it into this fried chicken bar.
So it's a bar.
It's a bar that serves fried chicken.
Okay.
But it's like known for its fried chicken to the point that on the outside it says fried chicken. It's called Crawford's. And let me tell you what, I looked at the photos of this chicken and it looked fucking delicious. They got the sandwich. It looks amazing. I'm thinking about it now. I want to eat it. So me and our friend Zach Fox, friend of the podcast, friend of yours.
Yeah.
We were hanging out Saturday night with his girlfriend Alyssa Vaughan, friend of the podcast,
friend of
yours and mine. And I said, are we gonna eat at that chicken place that Sardos turned into? And Fox is like, yeah, we probably should sometime. And Alyssa goes, I really could go for some fried chicken. Why don't we go? I said, yeah, let's do it. And Fox is like, yeah, let's do it. And we get in his car and we drive to the place. And the second we pull into the parking lot, Fox goes, I got a bad feeling about this. And I'm like, yeah, this doesn't feel right. And then he parks the car and Fox is like, I feel like in the pit of my stomach. Like, I just don't feel good. And I said, yeah, I don't know if will be able to digest this food properly. I just don't feel right about this. And Alyssa looked at us like we were insane. And said, what do you want to do? And Fox was like, why don't you go in there and just see how it is? And she goes in there and she comes out and she said, it looks just like it was. And I'm like, that's even worse. And Fox was like, yeah, we can't do this. We got to go. We got to get out of here. He goes, everybody get back in the car. And then he drove us to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles instead because we wanted fried chicken. And I could not go into the bar that I loved, my beloved old Stars. I couldn't do it. It hurt me. And you looking at me like Alyssa looked at me and Fox.
You guys are suffering from post-traumatic Sardos disorder.
We are.
We need to get you like a service dog. We need to get you a service dog. We need to get you counseling. I don't know. There's maybe support groups you can go spend time at. Like and Bob and Fox One.
I could go my whole life without going to some... There are plenty of chicken places I don't eat at enough.
I think one of two options. You got to either order out from this place.
Yeah,
or you hang out in the parking lot like a 17-year-old kid and you pay a hobo to go in there to buy you the chicken and then bring it out to you. You eat
I was
in your
thinking
car.
about but you know what the thing is? The chicken's going to be really good. You know it's going to be really good because it's like forbidden chicken.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, maybe next time we're all hanging out, maybe we'll send you in there to get some chicken.
Well, I'm going to go 17 chicken sandwiches, please, with extra monkey sauce or whatever they serve it with.
So what's going on in the world of Will Sean Podcast?
Want to remind all of you to please make sure you subscribe to us on iTunes, that you liked us on all relevant and irrelevant forms of social media. We should have an Instagram feed. I'm just realizing this. We do generate pictures every week.
Oh, we do.
Huh.
Yeah, we've generated at least 280 pictures.
Why don't we do... All right, I got to set this up. Keep an eye out for the upcoming Will Sean Podcast Instagram feed, but really make sure you leave us a star rating on iTunes, comment, subscribe, do all the important things. Make sure you are watching Corporate on Comedy Central, former guest Jake Weissman and my Inga Bretzen's show, and watch Counterpart on Stars.
Oh, shit.
Counter something. J.K. Simmons stars in Stars' new hit show by Justin Marks, former guest of the podcast.
And listen to all shows on the Jukebox Podcast
And the
Network.
Jukebox, of course, I left the best for last.
And who's our sponsor this week?
Parades, like memos, another word you're just tired of hearing. Lord, when will this nightmare end?
The guy at work was like, I'm going to go to that fucking parade. And I'm like, you're not like some right-wing fascist lunatic. He's like, I know, but I'm going to go. I want to go. He's like, I want to see that. I want to see what they do. So
we're going to have a parade. And he's going to make himself a military uniform and say, I'm a 5-star general. I should have a uniform.
They're going to have the big banners with the portraits of him.
The epaulets. Ugh, a mess.
On the show today, speaking of parades, there's a parade in Philadelphia.
Was that a parade?
Because the Eagles have won the Super Bowl. We will discuss Justin Timberlake's halftime show. We will discuss the commercials. I have a feeling we're going to spend most of the time on the commercials.
Dilly dilly.
And then Richard Roper is one of the great film critics in my mind, my lifetime. And he did something wrong, but the punishment did not fit the crime, and I'm going to get into it. But first, we are very excited to have with us that we've made her wait longer than usual, I think. But she can do that because she is a returning champion to the show. She was on a few years back. She was on at the beginning of 2013.
Jeez.
Now
5 years?
Yes. She was at the beginning of 2013, and now she is back. And before it was just a voice, but now she's here physically with us, Sarah Afkami.
Hello.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome on the show. Glad this worked out. I know the logistics have been really tough, so.
Yeah, Sarah, give a little refresher to the people of your origin story. Well, before you say where you're from originally, how arduous was this trek tonight to get here to record this podcast?
Oh man, I had to come all the way up the stairs.
The other stairs.
Yeah, that's true. I live in the building.
Yeah. She went up the servant stairs.
She lives in the basement of Podcast Studio South.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
No, we're a legit unit. We're one of the more. Our unit's one of the bigger ones.
You get the double unit, the owner's unit.
Yep, owner's unit, baby.
You're living large. So Sarah, you're a writer. You're a comedy writer. Let's give people a little bit of a refresher though, because it has been quite some time since
I know. I feel like maybe you guys were my good luck charm because I think I got a job in New York after that for USA.
This happens to everyone.
Yeah, you guys are really like a rabbit's foot.
Remember that terrible movie, Good Luck Chuck?
Yeah.
We're like the Good Luck Chuck podcast.
Yeah.
Where it's whoever comes on our podcast, great things happen. Guess what happens to us? Nothing. I can't sell my book. Everything stinks. But you, God bless you, you're out there living life.
I loved New York, I'll tell you. I was there only for like 4 or 5 months.
It's enough.
It was like right before spring, like the cusp of spring until before summer got gross. And then I got another job here again.
Well, what were some of these jobs? So right after they heard you on Will Sean podcast, and someone in New York got on the phone and said, hire her. And you went to New York.
That's exactly what happened. It was because of this podcast.
What was it for? What were you doing?
That was, do you know Donnie Deutsch? Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Nope.
So he had a show on USA for like 10 minutes. It was really fun. I mean, the show itself, it kind of came and went, but...
What was the show? Because he's like financial guy.
Yeah, he's like an advertising, like he made his millions selling his advertising company. And then he was like on the morning, he's always on Morning Joe.
Okay.
He has like a penchant for taking off his shirt in the middle of the newsroom.
Now, was this like a sitcom or was this
It was kind of like a Curb Your Enthusiasm type where he's playing himself, but everyone around him is fictionalized. And
really? I did this thing did not come on my radar.
I'm not surprised. That's my niche.
That's what the premise was. Maybe the execution was totally different. Turns out not everyone could be Larry David.
That's apparently the case.
So what... Wait, I'm a little fascinated by this because I do know who this guy is.
Of course.
And I can't imagine him with like his own Curb Your Enthusiasm-esque show. Was there anyone else of note on it?
Yeah. What was her name? It's been a minute. Gosh, Pam.
Greer.
No, another Pam. Hold on, someone from Texas. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'll refresh.
But-
my resume. But yeah, look up just Donnie, Donny. I actually got a residual check today for it, and I was like, well, "Who is airing this?"
It's huge in South Sudan.
I will say, I was pretty delighted. I mean, it wasn't like a lot of money, but it was enough to be like, "Okay, that's nice."
Is he funny?
Yeah, he is a funny guy.
The show was Donnie! Exclamation point.
Yeah. Look, I think that honestly, if I were to see, I got hired on. And by the way, my boss, it was a female boss, and we still we talk a lot on the regular, and she's really cool. She's actually teaching an NYU class on sitcom writing, so she asked if she could use one of my old scripts as a sample. So that was nice. Like, hearing that some New York students were, NYU students were cracking up at my Sunny spec. Because some weeks are dark as a writer. I'm sure you can imagine.
I understand.
Yeah.
So then, after Donnie,
I got schlepped back here for a Comedy Central show called Legends of Chamberlain Heights.
that sounds familiar.
I learned a lot of black slang, a lot of urban slang. I didn't know that I'm a mark-ass bitch.
What does that mean?
Please.
It's kind of like someone that's very bullyable.
Okay.
And or a pansy, but someone like Mark, Target.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay, yeah.
So someone that's an easy target to get made fun of.
Okay.
And then
Are we Marcus?
Of course we are. Come on, look at us.
depends on the context.
We're mark-ass bastards.
Yeah. Then a little bit of Chelsea Handler helped out with that Netflix show, and that was intense, actually. I have some funny bullying stories about that.
You have being bullied, or
Yeah, I'm always getting bullied. See, I'm in the workplace. It's just easier for me because I do have sharp teeth, but I don't know how to manage them. I can't do how some people are really good at the workplace, kind of needling. I'm black and white. You know what I mean? I'm either your best friend or I'm eviscerating your existence.
or it's your mother is garbage. Yeah. And your father hates you. No wonder your father left the family.
Exactly.
And that's it. That's your joke.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't have that ribbing thing.
Yeah.
How long were you on the Chelsea show?
Chelsea was.
She ended that show, right?
That's her version.
Oh.
I wonder what the NDA situation is with this. I mean, it doesn't matter. The bottom line is there were a lot of rumors that Ted Sarandos was not happy. They were fighting like cats and dogs, and they were
They took that money and said, let's make Bright instead.
I think they were saying they were saying that it was more cost effective to just pay her out because she had a long contract.
Yeah.
But she had just parted ways with her producing partners. With the docu-series, it doesn't matter. But they split up, and everyone on that show was week to week. Everyone.
Wow.
Oh.
Even her oldest employee, her oldest writer.
But yet she had a big contract.
She was the one with the real contract.
Yeah.
And
That was
She realizes she can't just make the show herself with an iPhone.
right. But
Okay.
definitely that culture of everyone's replaceable and
Yeah.
dispensable.
Well,
was,
that makes for a very comfortable work environment. That makes for a very people are always going to do their best work under those circumstances.
Fear is just a great way
It's
to...
true.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, so then I jumped onto Dice, the Showtime show. That was my most recent project. And
Yes.
yeah, so Andrew Dice Clay, I'm sure you have a kinship, right, as a New Yorker?
I mean, you always gotta like the Dice Man.
Yeah.
I remember back from when being young, The Adventures of Ford Fairlane.
Yeah, oh my
Come on.
gosh.
Yeah, of course.
All I know about Andrew Dice Clay is, as a kid, my godmother had his stand-up comedy special on VHS, and it had an NC-17 on it. And I was like, this must be really raunchy. And my little 8-year-old brain couldn't even imagine what perverted wonders lay within that VHS tape.
Well, I think that's the funny thing, and I want to get to the real Dice.
Yeah.
But I think what the funny thing in my head, and probably your head and the head of people our age, he was built up to be something far more, maybe sinister is not the word, edgy, than it really was.
Right. Yeah.
And maybe it's because of the times, or maybe it's just because how he
Or the
kind of
marketing.
took off. Yeah. But, and I mean, And it's not as bad as like, but yeah, as like Little Will would be like, oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt. I think also he was subverting a lot of like classical nursery rhymes.
Yeah.
Hickory dickory dock. Yeah.
Exactly. So taking those and then suddenly making them super dirty.
It was particularly insidious towards the children.
Yeah. And, you know, he was going to be on SNL as the host, and he was boycotted by the female and Sinead O'Connor.
Nora Dunn.
Nora Dunn.
Nora
Yeah,
Dunn
good
boycotted
memory.
him. Yeah.
And then Sinead O'Connor signed on to, you know.
Well, she has like
also-
the Pope, so.
And everything worked out great with Sinead O'Connor on
man.
Saturday Night Live.
And so he had but to be fair, I mean, he in the 80s, prior to social media, was filling up 2 nights in a row, filled up Madison Square Garden, sold out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Isn't
that's
that what the
meteoric
video was?
rise.
Wasn't that like live at Madison Square Gardens or something?
Probably one of
Yeah.
them, yeah. I mean, he really mastered theatrics. He always was kind of a thespian. Like,
Yeah.
he fancied himself like Elvis a little.
He did. He had the
What?
like hair and the sideburns. And, yeah.
And he did always pop up also in film, like he's in Pretty in Pink.
Mm-hmm.
He, and even recently, I mean, it wasn't a very good show, but he was on vinyl. Like he popped.
Yeah, but that was after the Dice-a-sons. Wasn't he like on Entourage?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. You know how that actually came to be was that his manager was doing construction for Mark Wahlberg, or Doug Ellen, one of the two.
Yeah.
And then pitched Dice to be on the show, and then that's why Woody Allen cast him in Blue,
Oh, that's right.
Blue
He's
Jasmine.
in Blue Jasmine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he apparently, I mean, really, even Marty, as he says from Vinyl, like Scorsese, like loves it. He is he's got a charisma.
Well, he's
that you
good at
can't
all
deny.
these things.
He's a great actor.
And now, see, here's the other thing that I think the why Nora Dunn didn't want to do the show with him was like she found him misogynistic.
Oh,
He
yeah.
became misogynistic.
He called women little piglets. That was like his way of describing women. Was
But do you find that this was, and this doesn't necessarily justify it, perhaps, or maybe it does? Was this just a character? He was just being, or is he like? Oh, maybe she can't ask this question.
no.
Or was that just a comedy scene in the 80s and that's what went for like
Yeah.
indie comedy back then?
Look, I think
Because Eddie Murphy's Raw is pretty rough to listen
and
to now.
homophobic.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, dude, you're wearing like a tiny red outfit,
Yeah,
like
and
a shiny.
and he comes right out of the gate with the homophobic jokes. He's like,
Yeah,
I'm in
yeah.
San Francisco. Here we go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, who chose the venue, bruh?
Yeah.
It's like then all the tranny stuff made a lot of sense, right? Or excuse me,
Yeah.
whatever transgender. His love
the
for
trans-
trans.
That's where we're getting
Gender
tripped up.
That is what, but that is. Yeah.
I know. Oh my gosh, I actually almost got. This summer I almost got beaten up. I was doing a stand-up show
By a transgender prostitute?
I wasn't sure if the person was transgender or not, but it was for the PC situation. I was working out a new joke about like who signed off on POC being the new word for minority.
Yeah.
Like it's like first of all, PO anything is unappealing. POS, POW,
PO box.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So and then I said, and plus color. I mean, that's one participle away from colored.
Yeah.
You can't just like come in and out of retirement, you know. Colored or whatever. Don't Brett Favre your way back into the lexicon. Colored. So I said colored a few times,
Yeah.
and it was at this like artist residency, East Pico, right by Roscoe's. Actually, you mentioned Roscoe's earlier.
Yeah.
So this woman like started shouting trash that my jokes were trash. So I wanted her to come up and work it out with me. Foolish choice.
Oh, you are a mark-ass bitch.
I am a Marquez ass, true to my colors. So she comes up, and I thought like we would like. I was like, it's not like I'm some white chick. Like I'm ethnic myself. I'm like the darkest person in my family. I feel like I can. Anyway, then she took my little like set list reminder stuff on the booth and crumpled it up and threw it. And that's when I was like, come on.
Try being funny without your words, funny man.
No, this is actually.
Then she pushed me
Oh.
Really?
off the stage. Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it was by coincidence that all these people that I did not invite that were good friends were there. It was a really unfortunate night.
Wait, this was just like what kind of place was this?
It's an artist residency, so it was almost like
you
it was
know
like a
what?
halfay house.
It was
Here's
behind
the
Lucy's
thing.
number 4, wasn't it?
It was weird. It was East Pico,
the
like
second you said artist residency, here's where you have your problem.
exactly.
Well, it is very interesting because the Dice Man, a very un-PC
Yes,
character.
Yes.
And I'm not one of those people who are like, things are too PC.
Yeah.
But there is also a middle ground of where someone being on a stage should be allowed to work out some material and try. I mean, it's part of the art form.
Yeah.
Michael Richards.
Well, but I meant more Sarah Afkami. But
Yeah, I mean, I think it triggered her, and she couldn't see straight. You
Color.
know? Yeah, oh gosh. Yeah, it really triggered her, so that's okay. You know,
Okay.
I mean, definitely stand-up is an interesting bird, I feel like. I haven't learned how to monetize it yet. I think you have to go on the road initially
Yeah.
when you're really trying to monetize it.
Well, is that like for when people? Because here they just do all these free open mics, and then they actually want to get paid. They go out and do tours. So
Exactly, like Avi Lieberman.
Yeah.
Have you had him on the podcast?
no, and I don't know why. I got to reach out to him. He's never around. It's like I'll run into him, and then he's like off again for 3-4 months. He's hard to. I'll just randomly see him at stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so do you do a lot of stand-up then? Do you do?
You
is that
know,
something?
I don't put it at the top of my. I should have it at the top of my priority list, but it doesn't pay the bills. So when I have a project I'm working on, that always takes. So I have like 2 shows on the books right now.
So that takes
Flappers on Valentine's Day.
Oh,
if
in
anybody
Burbank?
wants to come, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I did just have my girlfriend break up with me.
Oh my god! So you should come.
Maybe I should
It's
go.
actually called, I think, Sweatpants and Cookies. The show. I don't know why they thought of me, but it should be cute.
Okay,
Should be
Flappers,
cute,
Valentine's
yeah.
Day. I'll make a mental note. If I'm not busy sticking my head in an oven, I'll come down there.
Or Girl Scout cookies.
I've already eaten a lot of Girl Scout cookies. You won a roast battle.
Oh yeah! Thanks for remembering that. Wow, you really did your due diligence.
We do our research.
The internet
Yeah.
doesn't forget.
Yeah, I didn't tell you that, did I?
you
You guys
did that.
Googled me?
We did.
So flattered.
We do research on you.
Oh,
What's that all about?
Oh, it is fun. And, we should all... I'll take you guys some time. Like a night when Jeff Ross is there and Dave Chappelle and all that. Although we can't plan. Nobody can predict Dave Chappelle's whereabouts. He is a wild man.
He's a man of mystery.
Yeah,
Just give him a pack of cigarettes, a microphone, and 7 uninterrupted hours.
that's actually really true. Yeah, so that's really fun. I mean, you challenge someone in the mic community, and then you usually have a sit down prior.
But so you know this person in advance?
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, usually. Or you at least do a one-on-one to talk, because a big part is asking questions about their lives so you can mock them.
Did you challenge someone, or did someone challenge you because you're a mark-ass bitch?
I challenged a black woman
Oh.
while I was on that black show. I was like, really? Sorry, that urban show. I'm so sorry.
That's on you.
Hey, they keep calling it the Black South Park. It's hard not to call it.
Okay.
Okay,
So-
the urban comedy
So-
central show. Oh, God.
So you sit down with the person, and you guys just ask each other questions, and then
Yeah. I mean, I was trying to explain.
But is that on stage or is that behind the scenes?
No. That's just one-on-one prior to the battle.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
we do like a little informational
it's like,
interview.
let's have dinner the week before.
Yeah.
So then I'm going
Yeah.
to rip you apart. Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's actually the most nerve-wracking part. Once it really is just, day of, you're like, okay, I'm okay with my jokes, but what the heck is she going to talk about with me? Like, you don't even know. What if it's like some like crooked nose you didn't know you had or something?
Oh, yeah, you're thinking back on every bit of the interaction that you had. Like,
Exactly.
So then do you take turns? What's the format exactly?
So for undercard, we do like 4 or 5 jabs, like, a piece, but we take turns.
So it's just like literally one-liners.
Basically.
Okay.
Yeah, ideally, like a good tight joke. Like long jokes do not work in
Okay.
that room. It's almost like a minstrel show on acid because there's a Negro wave. That's what they're called.
Okay.
I'm just really marketing myself. Like I deserve to get my ass kicked in East Pico.
You're going to get jumped on the way back to your apartment.
In Beverlywood.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Somehow they know. There's one of those little yellow Ford Explorers going to stop you.
Oh my God. So, what was that? Oh yeah, but they're like the peanut gallery. They're like the chorus, they come and they do commentary on your jokes. Like if it's a good joke, they'll come on stage with like feathers or like ice. It's very interesting.
Oh.
Look at ice thrown at you during a performance, Will.
I mean, if it's because if they're excited.
Next time you're at a storytelling show and you hit a good joke, I'm going to start throwing feathers and ice at you.
Yeah.
Bobby Lee was at my roast, and they would like bring him up on stage, like carry him up. Remember him from Matt?
Oh, yeah, I know Bobby
He's a
Lee.
great guy.
Yeah, I know who he is.
What a nice guy.
Okay, so you won the roast.
Thank God, yeah.
Can
it was
you?
fun.
Do you remember any biting jokes about this woman that we have no idea who she is?
Well,
that
you have to know that the show loves racism. So
I would imagine.
yeah, that's like a part. I mean, it's run by a black guy, and
This is the exact opposite of your other situation on stage. This one, they're like, we need you to go like balls to the wall on
Exactly.
anything. But I feel like I don't know.
You should do this, Will.
But that seems good to me. Like
I'll
that
tell
seems
you,
good that there's a place where
Or what was one of the
everybody
jokes
just-
about you that was...
Okay, yeah.
she had some that didn't really make sense.
Yeah, that's why you-
Fortunately, that's why I won. No.
Yeah, exactly.
Something about like my last name meaning like big hairy butthole or something, but people didn't really know. They didn't get it. It was like, thank God it didn't really
She
work.
didn't clue into the subtleties of Texas Jewish Persian culture.
Yeah, it was kind of. I think I was a little rough to battle. And then she was trying to hit on my sexuality because I explained a little to her, but it didn't make sense when she was.
What's? I mean, only because you brought it up on the show. What's to explain about your sexuality?
Let's see.
Briefly.
You don't have.
Let's table that. Let's put just like my libido. I just like to put my libido on a shelf and not deal with it.
I'm trying to work through some Elf on the Shelf joke, but it's not working.
Yeah, I just put a lot of my emotions, anything pesky. I just put on this shelf.
And you just bottle it up till it really expresses itself at a really inconvenient time with the wrong person.
Like a neighbor.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't understand any of this.
Well, I'll tell you the joke that I'll admit. Okay, this is so LA, but Ivan Reitman's. Ivan Reitman was there for some reason that night. Oh, because his son Jason Reitman is a big fan of the show.
Oh, okay.
So they were both there, and one of my jokes was, "Jill's cute. She's cute. She's an LA 6, but a Plantation 9." So apparently the next day, Ivan Reitman quoted the joke in a company-wide meeting. So that was kind of flattering to hear.
Oh, that seems inappropriate.
You made the day of a
meeting.
You made the day of an old Hungarian Jew.
Okay, so roast battle dice is over. No.
Yeah, we're not getting another season. Did you see that?
Literally the day we started
Researching me as the day variety. Yeah, but that was like a very delayed announcement, by the way.
So you'd known for a while.
Oh yeah, I was not like, no.
So you said you're working on new stuff. Is it stuff you can talk about or stuff you can't talk about?
Sure. I mean, I'm working on a UTA. I moved from ICM to UTA, and they really wanted me to write about my significantly hotter sister. Did you look her up?
No, we did not.
No, but
Although
now-
No, we're gonna have to do a little late night research. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I project too much. No, is the
Well, compared
okay.
to me.
That's true. Okay, as long as it's not a
So
hot
how do they
mic.
know about your significantly hotter
I
sister?
mentioned her in a meeting. I mean, I'm not ashamed. I'm not like going up like trying to be like sexy.
Yeah.
You know, like. So I think I just told some story and they found it very amusing. So the pilot's called My Hot Sister.
Okay, nice.
At the core, I really wanted to steer clear of like two girls. It's not really about one-upmanship or anything or like jealousy about that. It's about how we all have something that limits us in our own heads and kind of makes us our own worst enemy.
Not me.
Yeah, except Sean. He's unstoppable.
What's the other project?
I'm also I've been obsessed with Colts since I was like a child.
Oh, okay.
Colts?
Colts.
Oh, Colts. Okay.
I'll tell you why. Because
We've had a few people on the podcast who were in cults.
oh, you're kidding?
Yeah.
Knowingly, or like
One was
former.
raised in a cult, and one became a Scientologist, which I
Which
consider.
cult was the person that was legacy?
some
They're called
weird-
legacies, you know.
Northern California, or was it Oregon or Washington State? Where was...
No, was that?
I thought it was somewhere... Who? It was...
It was Minimus Maximus.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, no. Maybe in New York?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah,
in
New York. He's
cult.
on the East Coast, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, I grew up in Texan Persian culture, so I felt very disillusioned by both because I was like, belly dancing, football, like none of it made any sense.
No.
Like I was never like swept away.
Those are two cultures that don't exactly, intersect very well.
Right, and so everything felt absurd. So I kind of always felt like this observer, like a witness, and so I was always jealous of groupthink.
Yeah.
And people that just like seemed to lack critical thinking because it seemed like a simpler way to be. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm writing about a cult. That's my new other thing. Like I just shipped out.
But it's like
the
a
Hot
funny
Sister.
cult.
Oh yeah, it's funny in that.
Is it called Second City?
No, this family. It's kind of loosely based. I'm not going to say a very litigious family.
Okay.
But they're very
Trumps.
kind of similar. They're very greedy. And they also expect their underlings to like take vows of poverty. But I have we have a protagonist that's like coming from a different place. So our eyes in is like someone that's not in the cult. So
Gotcha.
that's how we kind of keep it sympathetic.
Okay, well, I like this idea. I like a cult comedy.
Yeah,
No,
it's a
comedy.
dramedy. I'm thinking of it as like 6 Feet Under, but funnier.
Okay.
Okay, less
Less death.
murder death. Yeah.
Yeah, but that kind of dry.
Yeah.
There'll be some murder death.
Yeah, down the
Eventually.
line. Yeah, not in the
down the
pilot.
line.
In the pilot, there will be an extractor. They like come and kidnap people out of
Then
cults.
they got to deprogram 'em.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've always thought that'd be. I'd like to extract someone from a cult.
What would you do? How would you even start? What training do you have?
I have
to
none.
extract?
He's
But-
level-headed. I think
But
he can do it.
I've often thought about what if one of my friends. I
You
swear
watch
to God,
The Master twice and The Negotiator once.
I swear to God, I've often thought, what if I found out one of my friends was in a cult? And by the way, we had a friend who I referenced earlier on this episode, who she once tried to get hoodwinked into being in a cult, and she realized it, and I helped her fight the cult to get her money
Which
back
cult?
that she gave him. Some like motivational bullshit, sunshiny, everything's so great. You have such a positive attitude
Now give us
all
money.
the time,
Yeah.
and a smile on your face, and do it and push all your feelings down until one day you're on top of a watchtower with a gun shooting nurses.
Yeah. Wow.
One of those cults.
Wow.
That is in their charter.
I'm glad you got your money back.
I got-
Is that the equivalent of going clear?
Yeah, I got my friend's money. I helped her get her money back. And I was very, but it made me think. Like, what if she had been deep into the cult? I have to get, like, Sean. If I found out you were in a cult, I would try to get you out.
Sean's definitely too OCD to be in a cult.
I'm not OCD.
I'm just kidding.
Particular.
Discerning.
Hey, Sean, am I OCD or am I particular?
You are more OCD than I am.
Is that right?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I am. You
You
wouldn't
have to
know.
see his apartment.
Oh, really? So this
Yeah.
piece of chicken I brought over must have really grossed you guys out.
No,
You're
not
in
at
other
all.
people.
I
You're
just
fine in
wasn't
other
hungry.
people's surroundings.
I am perfect with other people's
I
surroundings.
see. It's when
don't
you're
expect.
in
I
your
don't
home.
expect people to adhere to like my level
Yeah.
of this, but I keep my shit the way I want it.
I hear.
Yeah.
I hear. Very cool.
So, Sarah, it sounds like you got a lot of projects in the work. You're doing a lot of stuff. You're going to be at Flappers on Valentine's Day. But where can the people find out about you if they want to know what you're up to? Where can
I would say Instagram's the best. Let me get my handle out.
they go? You don't know it.
No, I think it's just Afkami. Just S in my last name.
I think it is.
Let's see. Yeah, that's it.
So it's SAFKAMI.
Yes, that's my Instagram. I think that's the best. And then Snapchat. Do you know my handle on Snapchat? Wow, I am a Luddite.
You are on Snapchat. Should have done this before.
Well, I think it's fair to assume the guest would know.
No, I know. I don't know my username. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, it's just the same. Afkami.
Afkami, yeah.
What about on Twitter, which is the only way I can communicate with you?
Oh, my Twitter is, as of now, off
Queen
Kami.
Sugar.
No, off, like OFF, calm, CALM, and then E. I've been really neglecting the Twitter.
Well, get back on that Twitter.
Okay,
with some
I will,
great
just for
jokes
you.
about plantations.
And I'm thinking about going by the stage name Meat Grease. What do you guys think?
Meat
Meat grease.
Meat, like MEAT. Yeah, Grease.
no.
I think it sounds edgy and cool.
Meat Grease
like
is
the
the word.
anti-Mark-ass bitch.
You say it's shorter for Mitra.
Oh, like an ethnic name? No.
Mitra Grease.
No, meat grease. Like, like a guy from Brooklyn. Hey. Okay, forget it.
You've been working
on-stage
with-
character.
You've been working with the Dice Man too
Yeah,
long.
yeah, way too long.
So
Dyson Meat. It's a new show.
you are from Texas.
Yes.
So you must love football.
I went through a phase in college. Yeah.
Go Longhorns.
I went to games, you go. You're in that, whatever, the lottery or whatever. It's like a whole system to get tickets and all that.
So by the time this episode's up, the Super Bowl will really be old.
Oh, yeah.
But we still have to talk about it.
Yeah.
I was very torn. I think immediately once this matchup was decided who it was going to be, I texted Sean, is there a way both these teams could lose? Because being a New Yorker, the people we have the most problems with are Boston fans and Philly fans.
Yeah.
And although we don't necessarily hate the Philly teams as much, I mean, we wanted the Patriots to lose. Everybody wants the Patriots to lose. But the problem is the people of Philadelphia are such garbage people.
I know, I've been hearing that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of sad because Benjamin Franklin was awesome.
I would
I
say,
think he predated professional sports.
Sean, would you say this was America's least favorite matchup?
I think this was if America had a choice between eating their vegetables or, I don't even know what the alternative would be, drinking, castor oil. That's what this Super Bowl was. So it's vegetables versus castor oil.
Why do people hate the Pats so much?
Well, because the cheating, they always
constant
win.
winning. And there's
yeah.
the deep ties between the Kraft family and the Trumps.
I will
yeah.
say, I have to admit, I've met Bob Kraft in Israel, and he was so lovely.
I know people that actually know the family and the Krafts, and I've heard nothing but good things about Bob Kraft as a person and as a philanthropist.
Yes.
So that's why I've never really, and I got nothing against Boston.
He
so.
basically single-handedly started a football league in Israel, Bob Kraft, and erected a stadium.
Yeah.
Erected,
He's
erected.
he's a good philanthropist, but the team's problematic.
Yeah, the team's problematic. Belichick he's a miserable fuck.
Yeah.
And Brady, although, with that whole Deflategate, I was actually on Brady's side. I thought he was getting railroaded there.
Yeah.
But who gives a shit? Because then he won a Super Bowl that year, but he didn't this year. Sean, what were your thoughts on this game?
It was actually
a good game.
It was an excellent game. From a football perspective, it had the most yards thrown of any football game ever played, period. It was no defense. It was like the equivalent of an all-star basketball game where just everyone's scoring, no one's defending. It was an exciting game.
People missing some extra points.
Right, but the game had good little setbacks. It had good ebbs and flows. It wasn't like last year where the score was 27-3 at halftime, and then the second half was thrilling and insane and surreal. This was just a football game that really, Patriots came back in the second half, briefly took the lead, and it came down to a Hail Mary pass into the end zone where, the Patriots could have, that could have been caught and it could have gone for extra points.
Here's the thing. We were so, with 2 minutes left in the game, we were all feeling very confident about the Eagles winning. And we were all kind of, even though none of us are Eagles fans, we were all kind of celebratory about it. And then it was oh yeah, it's the Patriots. There's 2 minutes left. They could still win this. And we were watching with bated breath.
Yes.
But it was objectively a really entertaining football game as a product.
Yes.
Yes.
Did you enjoy the game? I mean, the people you were watching it with, were you very into
the party was nice. It was actually this friend of mine who lives at the W. Those condos in the W?
I guess. Not that
very
fancy.
Nice. Well, it was very nice. The rooftops were very nice. But what was I going to say? Oh, I was surprised. Multiple people at the party admitted that they were jealous of Justin Timberlake. And I think that's just such a funny thing to say out loud.
Well, I guess we can get to the halftime show. Yeah.
Because they wanted to be performing?
Yeah, why were they jealous?
Just general envy of Justin Timberlake. A man and a woman. One, I think, was mad about his age. Because they were wait, I'm almost 40. He's younger than me. So that like sets someone off into a spiral, tailspin.
Yeah, that person's got to relax.
Yeah, that person's doing fine. That was the person that owns.
They live at the fucking W.
Exactly.
I live in fucking Valley Village.
Well, if you put the V's together, that's a W.
It's true.
That's
It's true.
an excellent point.
It's the way the same thing.
Yeah, you live in the W.
Hilarious. Yeah, and then this other girl, I don't know, something. And she was like, oh, Justin Timberlake with his life. I'm like, wow. I have the people that I am at all competitive with or compare myself to are like in my league. Like, I don't think to get jealous of a pop star. I'm not 8.
You're not like that. Fuck that Mila Kunis.
Yeah, I'm like not. I don't know. It was interesting.
I don't get jealous of any of these people. I
Yeah.
don't behoove anyone's success.
Yeah.
Except for Tom Brady's.
Oh.
No, but that's
Because of Giselle?
No, I don't want Brady to win because, but I don't behoove his success. I behoove his success in a different way. I'm not jealous of it. I've never I know these people who are like, oh, so and so sold a script. You must be proud. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's good for them.
I only care if it's like too close to a concept of mine. Then I'm a little like,
I don't even care then. That's how much I don't care.
Clearly, they just wanted it
They
more.
broke me down. Do you think Timberlake did a good job in the halftime show?
I mean, I thought it was fun. I think there was a nostalgic element that I was biased about. Like, I loved the songs that they were, the medley.
I noticed the women at the party were much more into this halftime show.
Yes.
Than, but it
The
felt
men
like,
weren't dancing to NSYNC.
Yeah, it felt like in a very nostalgic way, though.
Yeah, because so many of the songs, in retrospect, a lot of his hits were like from like a decade ago.
Well, you remember that Trolls song from junior high, right?
Dude, by the way, what about Justin Bieber? Was he jealous, do you think? I mean, speaking of jealousy, but like, has he done the halftime
No, I don't
show?
think he ever
No.
will.
Because he's too edgy?
He's not edgy. I think people just hate him. He's too divisive. The Super Bowl needs someone that just plays it clean right down the middle.
Mainstream.
Like
That's not-
someone who ripped off Janet Jackson's
Yeah.
exposed her breast. Which there was a lot of talk. Will Janet Jackson show up? Will members of NSYNC show up? Will there be a Prince hologram? Now people went nuts about the Prince thing, but it wasn't a hologram.
No, it was just like a slideshow.
Yeah.
It's like a PowerPoint.
Like when I
That's what we see here. A Q4 year-over-year growth.
I think people are overreacting about being offended by, because they're in Minnesota. I don't have a problem with them paying some tribute to Prince in Minnesota. And it wasn't if a hologram popped up on stage and was dancing next to him, I'd have a problem with it. But it was I mean, what did you think, Sean?
I think a lot of the criticism is some of it redounds back on Justin Timberlake because he's always been criticized for being like the whitest white boy from Tennessee that then wants to be an R&B who kind of plays around with black music and black imagery and black dancing styles. And so and this wasn't really an issue years ago, but now the culture has changed. So everyone looks at him as like the poster boy for appropriation. And then it's even worse with his new album where he's styling himself as some sort of man of the woods, like back to his white Tennessee Trump country roots. And the Prince thing just sort of played into that narrative of, you want to have your cake and eat it too. And Prince was so much more talented than you. And why couldn't they just do a Prince tribute of just maybe playing him singing without Justin Timberlake having to do some shitty duet with him?
You can't just play Prince songs. There has to be a show. There has
with
to be
like an old school radio, just like on the stage and like some hot girls.
But let me ask you this: what if they went the other way and they booked like 4 or 5 big performers all coming out singing Prince songs as a tribute to Prince?
Ooh, like Celine Dion?
Would people be upset then?
I think it was
because then it would be
specific-
specifically honoring Prince.
Well, then
It wouldn't be an afterthought.
The other part
in
about the
someone's-
Prince, the other criticism was that like if you're gonna do Prince in Minnesota for the Super Bowl, you end on Prince. You don't then come like wheel it back to do your big Trolls finale. There was a lot of criticism how the performance itself was kind of all over the place and a little boring. And he comes off as like a theater kid, like he's just very overeager.
He's no Lady Gaga.
No, there's like no
He's no
artistry to it.
Beyonce.
He's just there, like putting on a show, and he's got. It's the reason why him and Jimmy Fallon also like are buds because they're just kind of like earnest buddies,
Can't deal with Jimmy
There's no
Fallon.
age
Did someone
to
make a joke? I saw online that someone said, "Oh, I'm glad Jimmy Fallon's sponsor is there." Was that really his sponsor? They kept talking about some guy next to Jimmy Fallon, like a really boring guy.
Oh,
Did you
I
see
think
him?
isn't Jimmy Fallon doesn't he have a drinking problem?
He does have a drinking
Yeah.
problem, but I didn't know if he's actually gotten
Well,
if
maybe
he's
that-
dried out yet.
His sponsor, Jimmy Fallon's sponsor, was the kid who was on his phone.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
That kid took a
So-
selfie and was immediately on social media. He had no more time for Justin
But
Timberlake.
everyone was like, "What's he doing on his phone?"
His phone started blowing up.
Yeah, of course it did.
Yeah.
Of course it did. Why he was on his phone the same reason everyone else is on their phone?
Right.
Could have waited a second.
Why are people getting a good? Yeah, but he's like a kid, and kids don't wait for that. I could barely wait. I'm driving. You know how many times I'm so sick. I'm driving, and then like a thought comes to tweet, and I'll pull over to tweet
Good
it.
for you.
You pull over? Yeah, I just dictate to my phone.
Smart.
Sometimes I don't know. Okay, let's talk about some of these commercials.
But they were all posted in advance for the most part,
Yeah.
which is fun.
Which is fun. I'd seen some of them ahead of time. I had seen the Danny DeVito M&M commercial.
Very
That was
funny.
funny.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
good. That was fun casting. My favorite might be the Eli Manning,
Yeah,
Odell
Dirty
Beckham,
Dancing.
Dirty
Yeah.
Dancing.
That was great.
That was really good, and it was great because they played it straight the
Yeah.
whole way.
Oh.
They didn't they just did the whole thing
True
to the end.
commitment.
I'm surprised NBC didn't announce that their new the live musical is going to be Dirty Dancing later this summer, a special live event.
They got Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yeah, starring John Legend and others.
Oh wow. Did you guys see the Diet Coke one?
The one with the
lanky girl?
girl dancing. Yes.
Yeah. It's weird. I met her the next day.
What?
Yeah.
She also live at the W?
No. The next day. I didn't. I left the party at a very reasonable hour, actually. No, I met her. I was helping a friend with a shoot, these Australians. And it's so cool. She was the star of the short.
Yeah.
And it turns out they met her because she used to work at a health food store in Sydney.
Oh.
So she's really coming.
Is she
She's on the
Australian,
up
though?
and up. Yeah, she's Australian.
Oh.
But she's not Australian in the commercial. Those Aussies, they're tricky.
She played
went
an
full
American. She's adorable, though. I really think she's going to blow up because she's a cool mix of goofy and hot.
Yes.
Yeah, she's goofy attractive.
Exactly.
Which is my favorite kind of attractive.
Yeah, because not a lot of people, you saw that dancing, that physicality, like not a lot of people could have pulled that
Just
off.
give me a cute string
But
bean
they're-
standing there and bopping.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dodge did something weird
Yeah.
with their ad. They had
A dream.
they played a Martin Luther King speech over their truck ad, and then apparently researching a little bit more on this later, the speech, if you look at the whole context of his speech, it's like anti-capitalist, anti-cars.
Yeah.
Like car.
Well, at least the ad
Companies.
suckered you in because you didn't know what it was for. It was just a lot of shots of America. And you're like, could this be for like something?
Healthcare,
Healthcare? Or could this
maybe?
be, right, exactly.
Mustard.
For Greenpeace, whatever. No. Fucking Dodge trucks.
Remember, the King estate would not allow Ava
DuVernay.
Oh my god, I had so much trouble just saying it then. Wouldn't let her use any of the speeches in Selma. She had to write King-esque speeches to put in the film because they wouldn't let her use the speeches. But they use, and and you'll hear this later because there's a podcast that gets into this. But I guess whoever's in charge, like the family's not happy about this Dodge going, but whoever's in charge of doling out the rights of these speeches, like they're
Right.
making
It was
some
the Attorney
weird,
Ty Cobb.
they're making some weird decisions.
Listen, you want some uplifting freedom? You got to pay, right? Inspiration don't come cheap.
It's not public domain?
No, it's all owned by the family estate.
Wow, good for
which is
them.
a little bizarre, honestly. I think it's very weird for such a public figure. We gave you a day. We get the speeches.
That's
Yeah, but you know what? They don't even do a good job with
Like,
that.
just
stuff.
imagine Uncle Sam
Yeah.
negotiating. Come on, come on.
My company doesn't even give us a day off. Everyone should get that fucking day off. It's bullshit. Anyway, David Harbour, I thought, had a good Super Bowl. Popping
He had a
up in
whole bunch.
million Tide ads.
Yeah, and about $45 million worth of Tide ads. And it wasn't just Tide; it was also like all the kind of Procter and Gamble products. It was like all the crossover, all the Synergy.
Oh yeah, beautiful synergy.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the movie and TV trailers too. Unless there's something else you want to say.
No, there was
about
the Peter Dinklage, Morgan
Yeah.
Freeman dance.
Did you like
off.
that one?
That was pretty spectacular.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
cool. That was my favorite.
That was your favorite one?
Yeah.
Didn't know Dinklage could spit fire like
Oh,
that.
I
And
know.
CGI'd mouth.
Yeah,
For
yeah, yeah.
Doritos, and then the next day Doritos
Mountain Dew.
announced
Oh.
that they're going to be Lady Doritos. Are you excited about Lady Doritos?
I missed that announcement.
Well, you know, sometimes you need the little bag fits in your purse and it doesn't make as much noise when you crunch because you wouldn't want to upset
yeah,
the man.
apparently it's the chips.
The chips are
aren't as-
softer.
That doesn't make any sense. I'm so confused
Apparently
by
this is not happening. It was like, sometimes companies will do this where they'll let something leak and float it to see what the reaction is.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh.
Trial balloon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very real thing.
Yeah, so Lady Doritos yesterday, big talk on the Twitters.
Wow. Yeah, I got to get back on the Twitter.
But if there was a chip that somehow had the consistency of a Dorito, but
melted in
wasn't
your
as
mouth?
loud of its crunch.
Sounds gross. It sounds soggy.
It sounds soggy, but I'm saying, what if it wasn't?
What if it didn't crunch but just kind of broke off cleanly? Like a corrugated chip.
I mean, I can get behind that.
You mean like perforations?
Yeah, come on, I got no time for crunch. It's messy business.
Oh,
And also, like, it doesn't make
OCD.
as much powder mess because you know you're wearing blouses and skirts, and no one's got time for that.
You don't want to get powder
This is
all.
so
You don't want
sexist.
You don't want to get nacho cheese
No.
all over your
Life
your
hack.
blouse.
I learned this like Kevin Amin. You eat your Doritos with chopsticks, and that way you don't get or Cheetos. You eat them with chopsticks. That way you don't get Cheeto fingers.
Well, Stephen King.
Yeah.
Stephen King's favorite movie snack is Junior Mints.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes. But what he does, so he doesn't get chocolate all over his hands during the movies, he uses a little toothpick and picks each.
Oh, that's
out.
adorable.
Yeah.
I have his memoir on writing.
It's
He
fantastic.
didn't mention that.
Oh no, you didn't get into that.
He mentioned this
I
when
feel betrayed.
When he talks about how he used to drink 2 packs of wine coolers every day.
he mentioned this when he used to write for Entertainment Weekly.
Oh.
He wrote a whole.
Stephen King used to write for Entertainment
Yeah,
Weekly?
he used to have a column.
Homeboy needs to eat.
Wow.
Like, and it was just like one page, but it was like, you know, he would write something like what
Uncle Stevie here.
Yeah, Uncle Stevie going to the movies, and I use a toothpick for my Junior Mints.
Wow. He seems
Yeah.
like such a great guy. His wife seems really great and supportive.
Tabitha.
Yeah.
His kids are successful writers too.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Huh.
So let's talk about some of these movie trailers. Skyscraper
The Rock will fight a building.
was one-legged Rock. You see this shit? He's running on one leg, and he jumps from the scaffolding to the window with a bit. I am in.
Too gimp, too furious.
It's crazy.
He's jumping. I like so immediately the next day there was all these online physicists breaking down the logistics of him jumping into the building and how he would die immediately.
Oh.
You know
Wow.
what? But I mean, I hate when the people, like I
Yeah.
hate Neil deGrasse Tyson when it's like he's
Oh,
like, well,
yeah.
this wouldn't have happened because fuck you, it's Star Wars.
It's called suspension of disbelief.
Listen, if Alien Covenant isn't accurate, I don't know what is true. But hold on quickly about this.
Aliens.
So many shots from. I got to rewatch that trailer because we saw it like in that busy room. It looks just like a huge Die Hard ripoff.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
Ugh. Yeah.
I'm gonna see
bad.
it. I'll see it.
So apparently, Colin Trevorrow directed that shitty Jeep commercial with Jeff Goldblum where they matched the footage from Jurassic Park. Yeah. Saw him commenting on how hard it was to get the matching on the CGI right.
So nobody's excited about Jurassic World.
It looks like
I didn't think Jurassic World was better than the Lost World Jurassic Park.
Fine.
It was better than Jurassic Park 3,
that's a low bar.
where the raptor, where Alan Grant has a dream and the raptor talks to him. Fuck you. Westworld. Oh, you don't like Westworld?
I don't know if I'm going to watch season 2.
I loved Westworld, and I thought the Westworld trailer looked great.
Uh-huh.
Did you watch Westworld?
I didn't watch the whole first season.
Okay, well, I'm with the only 2 people who don't.
I mean, I watched the whole first season. I just don't know that I'm in for season 2.
Kind of dark.
It's
I'm
not-
just
it's
not in the
humorless.
mood for dark.
It's not the most humorless show on television.
That would be The Leftovers.
No, not at all. Leftovers, I would say there's a lot of
What would be the
comedy
most
left.
humorless
The
show?
Walking
The
Dead.
Path. Have you seen The Path on Hulu?
no.
No, I haven't. The Walking Dead's pretty humorless.
Yeah.
What about that other one? The motorcycle gang one. That was
Hell's Angel?
Was
No.
that funny?
Sons of Anarchy.
I
was
never
that,
watched
that was
it.
never funny, was it?
I don't think so.
But I'll tell you what, Leftovers got a lot of...
That is on my short list of shows I do have to watch. What food is Berlin Babylon's done? I'm digging this show.
there was a big surprise. There was a trailer for the Cloverfield Paradox, and then the movie after the Super Bowl popped up on Netflix, trying to eat into NBC's This Is Us viewership.
Oh my god, people are so obsessed with This Is Us. Do you watch it? It seems so sappy.
That's a humorless show.
That's sappy.
No, that's not a humor. It's a good show.
It's good.
It's the only show I watch that's like the only drama I watch that's about just like good people.
Yeah.
Because every drama I watch, it's like Westworld. Like people
I know.
And This Is Us is the only one that's like, this is just these are good people.
Going
these
through
are
things.
people.
I got no time for good people. I need anti-heroes.
But they
Yeah.
handled the death on This Is Us very well. They did a really good job.
So now how are they going to squeeze this out for another 4 seasons?
Oh, very
Seriously.
easily. The show is built on flashbacks.
Oh, I know.
Like Lost.
It's another show I loved. But this Cloverfield Paradox, what do you think about this, Sean? The whole thing that Netflix acquired this movie from Paramount, who knew it had a dog, and then they buy the Super Bowl and then they just launch it that night. Like, no fanfare, no trailers, nothing, just cold, put it out there.
I think it's very smart because you're going to get all the eyeballs initially, people that want to see this thing.
yeah.
But they just have another piece of IP in the library because, 3 months from now, no one's going to remember that Cloverfield Paradox was part of this Super Bowl stunt. It's just like, there's an exclusive Cloverfield movie. And I guess Cloverfield 4 apparently is already in the can.
Yeah, it's going to come out in October
And it
in
takes
theaters.
place during, it's called Overlord is the code name. And what I've heard is that it takes place during the British, like leading up to Dunkirk, the invasion behind enemy lines. And they're in an abandoned like Belgian village during World War II and some shit's going down.
Alien shit?
Yeah, it's like a World War II Cloverfield movie.
Here's the thing. Cloverfield, I saw it once,
Yeah.
whatever. 10 Cloverfield Lane, love. Think it's brilliant. This new one, I hear it's no good, but I'm going to watch it. I'm going to give it a
Apparently
watch.
it was like just a sci-fi movie that they somehow acquired and decided to make into a Cloverfield movie, so they sort of retconned.
I hear you. You feel where they grafted on the Cloverfield stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And one more thing. There was the trailer for the trailer of Solo.
Yes.
Are you a Star Wars person? We're
Sorry.
Star Wars
I have
people.
ADHD. I'm sorry.
No, it's
Got no
it's
time for
okay.
Last Jedis.
I know. I'm sorry.
But, Sean, what do you think of this Solo?
Well, the teaser trailer was very hard to make out anything because it was, thing on TV. And
You mean the teaser for
the one that
teaser
showed during
trailer?
the start? Yeah, there's one that showed during the Super Bowl. It was hard to like kind of get a sense of it. I thought the trailer, the troubled production history on this movie. I'm into it. It looks fun. It visually looks kind of interesting. It was shot by Bradford Young, who shot Selma and Arrival.
Yeah, great cinematographer.
And I think he didn't do Black Panther. That was what's her name, Rachel Johnson.
Rachel Morrison.
Sorry. Rachel Johnson, someone I used to work with. The
Not a cinematographer. Not an Oscar
nice
nominated.
person?
no, from Iowa. The I think this could be fun. Everyone's kind of getting nervous, but once again, remember how many okay trailers have been made for really good movies and how many awesome
Yes.
trailers have been made for shitty movies. So
Yes,
don't-
I would agree with
yeah.
that. My
Remember
issue
how-
is
yeah.
it's the first time one of these new Star Wars trailers didn't give me chills. Like I get chills every time. Like Last Jedi, even Rogue One, which I have some issues with that movie, but I got chills when the trailer.
Wow.
And Force Awakens, this one didn't give me chills, and maybe it's
But
because
maybe you were in a bad place.
Nah.
He was watching on his iPhone while pooping the way they wanted you to see the trailer.
I was watching it on my iPhone, lying in bed, trying to figure out how to not go to work.
Okay.
Well, that was the Super Bowl.
Woo!
Yeah.
Do it next year.
Yeah, we'll do this again next year.
Go Rams.
So, the other week, we lost a titan of journalism and criticism. Richard Roper was suspended from his position as a columnist at the Chicago Sun-Times pending an investigation into allegations he purchased Twitter followers. Now, Sean and I have always said that Roper is possibly the most interesting man in the world. You have tweeted this at him. He has liked those tweets. His life makes no sense to us. He's always jet-setting from poker tournaments to sporting events to rooftop parties, all while reviewing movies on a regular basis. He is a international man of mystery. So it came as a surprise to discover that some of his social media, quote-unquote, heat might have been unearned. But here's the thing. Who gives a fucking shit? What does having fake Twitter followers have to do with your opinion on Valerian, the city of 1,000 planets, or Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle? It doesn't. It has nothing to... It doesn't matter if a bunch of bots are following you for you to be able to predict the Oscars. It doesn't matter. None of this does. So a couple of bots retweet them. Who cares? We all have bots following us. Twitter is 85% bot and 15% Trump. This man, Richard Roper, is a national treasure. He is a protege of the great Roger Ebert. God bless his soul. Let the man review movies, and that's why you, the Chicago Sun-Times, are this week's enemy of the podcast. Go fuck yourself. Hashtag reinstate Roper. Breaking news, they reinstated him.
But did they say what happened? What was the...
I just saw the headline on the way over here.
Okay.
But what's interesting is he has a brand new Twitter account. His old account is gone.
Oh, I gotta follow him again now?
He's got a brand new one. You have to if you notice on your Twitter, you'll be missing someone you followed. That's Richard Roper. Go follow the new Richard Roper account.
Don't so many celebrities do that, though?
Yes.
Yeah, well, let me ask you this, Sarah.
Yeah.
Doing
this right now.
There was this big New York Times piece, like, exposing the fake Twitter followers that all these celebrities and media people have. I mean, am I wrong in thinking, like, who gives a shit?
No, I think there's so much more to care about these
He's not
days.
even verified.
Not yet.
No.
But it's him. It's
Okay.
him.
He doesn't have his blue check.
Not yet. He will. So
I don't care either. I mean, it's sad, I guess, but that's the way of the world. I mean, social media in general is sad.
I mean, I don't know how many fake followers I have. And I don't really
hear
care.
that Bill Gates definitely buys followers. I'm like, why? Who is he trying to impress? What does he need? Right? He's a billionaire.
But I guess if you're
You don't cure polio without having lots of fake followers.
But you know what? I also get that, because if you're Bill Gates and let's say you don't have that many followers, like compared to
it's a little
other
embarrassing.
people, it's like
there's some money at the problem.
Yeah, I get that, because you need to be taken seriously on all levels.
Yeah.
Even the stupid social media
the superficial
level. Yeah.
layer of I
But
mean, it's kind of this necessary evil these days. It's kind of sad, isn't it?
I'm still confused why he was suspended in the first place, Sean. What did this have
who
to do?
exposed
I mean,
him?
is it the idea that this has something to do with journalistic integrity?
Yes, I think that's what it is, honestly.
But I mean, what do you think?
I do think it can be, if you are... I think it'd be one thing if you had bots following you, but to actively go out and spend money on bots knowingly, I see where that's a problem. It's... And they're... What is it? It's like 1,000... What the hell was... Someone I read what the thing is like... You'd get like 500,000 followers for like $17,000 or something. It's kind of how it works. But yeah,
Wait, how much money?
It's like $500,000. Like 17 grand would get you like 500,000 fake followers.
That's not worth it.
Well,
That's the worst.
Well, for him, maybe it is. 17K.
Yeah, maybe it pushes him over, and maybe he's just trying to, listen.
By the way,
Clearly this is a man that has a little bit of an ego about himself. He likes to show off about his life. He clearly thinks highly of himself, and, this probably was all part of his own image creation.
when they did that stupid Twitter audit for the Chicago Sun-Times, though, they had more fake followers than Roper.
But the
Are you
question was, have they
serious?
bought them? No, but as a news institution, you'll attract these bots because of...
I don't think they bought them.
No, yeah.
But they have. I mean, I don't know. I got like 1,100 plus Twitter followers.
Yeah.
How many are fake?
Most.
You think
You
so?
think?
At least a third, I would say.
Third.
They
Why
did a
did-
thing. I saw a study. It's over like 18 months ago where they tried to go through Twitter and scrub out for all the like top people on Twitter adjusting their follows for like actual real human beings. And so Justin Bieber dropped considerably on the list because of the number of fake followers he has, and it elevated other celebrities who had more authentic follows, I guess.
Couldn't this all be solved by like doing one of those like I am not a robot
Yes.
things?
But the thing is that bots and fake accounts do have a lot of purpose and function on Twitter. That's the problem they run into. So, for example, when there's like an earthquake here, bots will go and disseminate information about, U.S. Geological Survey.
LA QuakeBot.
Yeah, so there are... See, the problem is that bots can be a very useful and functional part of the Twitter ecosystem. It's hard to, sort out the good ones and the bad ones. I listened to a very interesting podcast this week Trumpcast where they had on an expert on national security.
I heard this as well.
Yeah, where she really gets into detail, like how do these Russian bots work and how do they spread fake news and it was really way different than you conceive of it. The sophistication level is really scary.
Sarah, would you ever buy bots?
No.
Too pure.
We're all bots anyway, probably.
It's true. So it's all just an illusion.
This is, this goes down to that whole thing of that we're actually in a very advanced computer simulation.
Yeah, we're in the dream of a cosmic turtle floating through the universe.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, yours is beautiful. Mine's correct.
Okay, yeah.
So we always like to end on a weird note.
Zion was a really shitty place. Who'd want to save that? Just go back and live in the Matrix.
Wait, what was that?
Zion.
Zion? Oh, yeah, I would.
Zion is a shithole.
When Joey Pants is like eating that steak and he's like, I would, he's like, I know the steak in there, but it tastes real and I don't want to be living in it. I'm totally with him. I don't know if I'd kill and sell people out in order to get back there, but given the option, I would much rather stay in the Matrix, in my
You don't
nice
want to be in the sweaty cave rave?
Let me tell you what, if it turns out we are all part of a computer simulation, this came up among, I was with our friend Lorenzo and our friend Bob, and I brought up this thing, and Lorenzo, it totally freaked Lorenzo out, and he's like, that would be terrible if we were there. I said, nah, it doesn't matter. And I said, Bob, does it matter? And he goes, nope. And Lorenzo was more bothered that we weren't bothered. But really, it would have no effect on... Sarah, if you found out today that this is all a computer simulation and you're not real, do you think that would change at all the way you lived your life?
It would depend on whose computer simulation it is, right?
Yeah,
well, it depends. What if if it's like someone with evil intentions, or if it's someone good?
I'm assuming that just.
Why would it have to just be in such a neutral?
It's a 14-year-old kid in his parents' basement in Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
Does he spill seed?
Probably.
Ew.
He's watching all of us.
He's a 14-year-old boy.
So he jerks off to us.
This
his
is
own
us.
creations. No, I would end it all. I would just
sophisticated porn.
Ew. I would just
He gets off on watching humans kill and demean each other.
like The Sims. It's like a demented.
I'm just saying.
Stay out of the swimming pool. The steps will disappear.
It would not change the meaning of our lives at all. And in fact, if anything, it would make me feel a little more comfortable at the idea of dying, because I'll know I'll be backed up on some hard drive somewhere forever.
And on that note,
note, we always like to end the show on a weird note, and somehow that wasn't it.
good segue.
Pales in comparison. So there's been this trend lately of people uploading legitimate content to Pornhub. And they insist on putting it. So, for example, the first act of Hamilton was put in under the name Revolutionary Twinks Have Historical Fun.
How funny. I hadn't heard about this.
Revolutionary Boys Get Dirty on American Politics. Also, people have been uploading The Big Sick, the movie The Big Sick, under interracial.
Oh, God.
And Kumail Nanjiani is all on board with this. He was like...
Really?
Yeah.
He was like, that's
he
funny.
thought it was funny.
That is funny.
And it is funny. I have not come across any of this. Not that I'm searching Pornhub on a regular basis.
And on that note...
so you have a new place to go for your legitimate content now, as well as your porn, Sarah.
Thanks.
Excellent.
On that note, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was really fun.
One more time, tell the people where they can find you.
Afkami on Instagram and Snapchat. Twitter, Afkami. Maybe I'll just change it to Softkami too.
Do it.
Can you change your handle?
Yeah, I change it all the time.
Well, you can change your display name, but the handle itself.
There must be a way.
Yeah.
Cosby Sweater did it.
Joe, she didn't just go under Ali Gertz?
No, I think she was at Cosby Sweater.
Okay. Well, she had legitimate grievance there.
Sean.
You can find me on all forms of social media at the Sean David, so follow me there.
You can follow me on Twitter at The Real Will Link. I'm also no date on when it premieres, but I've been recording my brand new podcast with Megan Salinas, No Love Lost. I love the TV show Lost unconditionally. She has other feelings about it, and we're rewatching the series and fighting about it. It's only 118 episodes that we have to rewatch. That's nothing. This is going to eat up the next 2 years of my life. Next week we're off, but the week after that,
Oscars.
it's our favorite episode. It's the one where we're going to tell you who's going to win all the Oscars. I think there's some pretty clear winners, but Best Picture is not clear. And Sean, I might do something crazy. I might pick a movie to win Best Picture and nothing else. Only happened once before in the history of the Oscars.
Grand Hotel. Well, good luck with that.
2 weeks from now,
It's on.
I'm going to ask you if I'm crazy, so think about it.
Okay.
Because I don't think I'm crazy, but I think I'm rolling the dice and I might chicken out. I might not have the balls to do this.
Hey.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Sarah, and one last thing. Aren't you proud I didn't make a superb owl joke?
You know what? The joke's getting played.
See?
A lot of Twitter makes that joke now. But you were the first I ever heard.
I was the first one. On that note, Sarah, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
And for the Will Sean Podcast, I'm Sean David.
I'm willing.
And we're finished.
We're finished.